Hey everybody, it's Amanda, and today we're going to talk grocery budgets. Okay, so if you have been following my food diary series in March and into April, I've been sharing with you everything that I purchased and everything that I made for a period of March 12th to April 9th, because I figured out that in February I spent $1,000 during the month on all of my spending for my husband and myself, and I was like, what happened? And I know you guys were probably thinking, what happened to the Bealles? They're so cheap. So I was like, I've got to crunch some numbers, because since we've been empty nesters and our budget is just, you know, pretty loose because we have a little more money to spend, we haven't been keeping track of stuff as much as we had before. But that ends, my friend, because we are getting on an actual written budget and trying to get it under control. But I needed to figure out where we were. One of the questions that people have asked me for years is, how do I find out how much I should be spending on groceries? And what I've always told people is that what you think is the right budget for you and your family is going to be different than what I think is right for me and my family, because different people have different circumstances. You have different likes and dislikes, you have different dietary needs, you have different schedules. There's a lot of things that go into what makes your groceries in your house and your menu plan and your grocery budget overall, that no one can ever tell someone else what their budget should be. And plus, prices are different in different places. So what I usually recommend to people is that you take whatever your spending is for a month and start cutting it down. Cut it down by 10% or 20%. And then if that's comfortable for you, cut it down another 10 or 20% until you get to a place that it's like a little tight, and then add a little bit more, because you don't want it to be super tight every single month, because then that's when you fall off the budget wagon. But you want it to be, snug enough to where you're actually making a difference, but not so snug that you're crying every week because it's beans and rice all the time. But this was kind of an experiment along those lines. I was trying to cut it back as much as I could. And I'm more comfortable with budgeting than some people are, because I've been doing it for years. So I tried to cut it back as much as I could within reason, because we're living our lives, and I shared with everybody what we bought and what we were making. And I said I was going to come back and tell you the numbers so you can have a perspective on it and see what it is that we are spending. So I have right in front of me all of the numbers. I'm going to share them with you. And first, I want to talk to you about what we used to spend, because I think that's something that everyone kind of goes back to when I talk about grocery budgeting. They're like, oh, but you used to spend this. Well, things were a little different then. We're going to talk about that. But let me show you the numbers. Because I am sophisticated with graphic design, I have my handy dandy notebook here and my beautiful pot holder. So when last we left, I had a family of 6. And our budget was $65 a week. And that was for groceries in particular. Well, the number, when I said $1,000, I told you that was including eating out, groceries, all of our personal items, everything. So my old budget for personal items was $50 every other week, so twice a month. And entertainment, which was our eating out budget, was $35 a week times 4. So I try to get a monthly budget. So what it used to be was $260 a month for groceries, $100 a month for personal items, and $140 a month for entertainment, for a total of $500 a month. Well, I think we all can agree grocery prices have doubled. 100%. I don't know where you are, but they have at least doubled here. So in that vein, I doubled the prices just to get an idea of what those prices would be now. Now we'd be spending about $1,000 a month. Okay, $520 for groceries, $200 for personal items, and $280 for entertainment. I just think that's reasonable based on what prices are now. So if you're doing it by percentage, that was 52% for, and you just got to take that 0 off, right? 52% for groceries, 20% for personal items, and 28% for entertainment. And that worked out with 6 people, $166.67 per person per month, right? That's what we used to spend. This is what we spent for that period that you guys were watching me in the food diary. I spent $784.29. And I went ahead and broke it down for you again, just like I did with the last one. Look at that. Groceries, I spent $407.83. Personal items, $156.86, and entertainment, $219.60. Now this was, I thought, pretty interesting because I broke it down by percentage. That worked out, and you can do the math yourself, to 52% on groceries, 20% on personal items, and 28% on entertainment. Exactly what we used to spend, the exact same percentages. So in theory, I'm spending about the exact same rate. It's just a different amount per person. So what we're looking at is $392.15 per person for the month, or $98.04 per person per week. So let me talk to you about that for a second. Okay, so $98.04, so make sure, yes, per person per week. So that means Rick and I each were spending about $100 a week for each of us, right? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, you're talking groceries and personal items, so you have toilet tissue, paper towels, hygiene products, things like that, and eating out. Now, I don't know what you guys are spending per person per week, but I actually think that's pretty reasonable when you're talking fewer people, because a couple of things. First of all, if you have fewer people in your household, what you're gonna spend per person is actually more. One of the reasons that I was able to spend so little before per person is because we had such a large amount of people, and you can buy things in bulk and you can get more deals. So I think that certainly played into it. I think if you have 2 people, you're gonna spend more per person than if you have 6 people. That's just how it works. But here's the other thing that I'm sure you all know plays into this whole situation. I was a stay-at-home mom then. And so I had the ability to spend a lot of time with my cooking, with my cleaning. There's a lot of processes that I had the time to, you know, more time than money. So it was a lot easier for me to do all of those things rather than, you know, spend more money. But now I don't have the time, because now I'm working. I was at that time doing my student teaching, but now I'm done, you guys. I'm done with that, and I graduate in a couple weeks, just throwing that out there. Yay, me. But in addition to that, I'm doing like all of these side hustles. You guys know we do Instacart and occasionally DoorDash, and we look at eBay and just about any other thing that we can, plus making YouTube videos. So I'm doing a ton of different things and just trying to, because frankly, we're just trying to pay off any debt that we have. I want to pay off my mortgage. I want to be able to visit my grandson. There's a lot of things that we want to do, and I am like hustling to make that stuff happen. And do you know what I'm saying? I'm really hustling on it. So I don't have the time that I used to have. And I think that's the biggest difference, is a lot of the things that I would take the time to do, now we are, you know, making use of convenience items. It's just how it is. We eat out so much more. And like, for instance, I mentioned in the other video, one of the places that we ate out. We ate out, I think in February, like 8 times at this one restaurant. It's my favorite Asian restaurant. Well, we go there because I still would prefer to eat actual fruit and vegetables and meat and, you know, not processed foods so much, and it's less processed eating there because it's just, you know, rice and chicken and vegetables, and it's got sauce on it. But I mean, it's, to me, it's better than having like fast food all the time. So we're eating there more often than not. So that plays into the budget because we're trying to, you know, find healthier options, but at the same time, you know, meet our time limits, and that's really super challenging for us. So so that being said, $98 per person per week is what we ended up with, and I think that's not too bad. So Rick and I, like I said, we don't have currently a budget that we're working on. So I actually decided to go ahead and use those numbers to give you this right here at the bottom, which is our budget going forward. So you can see I actually made our grocery budget $105 a week, and our personal item budget $40 a week, and our entertainment budget $55 a week. So it's actually a little bit more than that $784, but like I said, that was me trying to be really tight. I want to give myself a little bit more room. That's going to total us out at $800 a month for groceries, personal items, and entertainment. Now, again, it's $400 per person per month and $100 per person per week, which I think is very reasonable. Now, could I cut it down? Sure, but not with our current situation. I think people could certainly get by on less, not working as much as I do. I mean, honestly, I challenge anyone to do it. And frankly, if we were to look at the different things that we spent our money on in that period of time from March into April, there was only one day that we actually went out and like kind of splurged. And that was the day that we went to Culver's and we got kind of an expensive lunch. We spent $29.02 on one lunch, and that was actually kind of expensive. And then we went to Starbucks and we spent $15.17 for drinks and snacks. So that was the big splurge. We spent like $45 all at once, but it was the only one. Out of that whole 4-week period, we only spent $208. So just that one day was a big splurge, but the only big splurge for the whole month. And I think, you know, all things considered, as far as a big splurge, that wasn't super big. You know what I mean? $45 for 2 people, not super expensive these days, you guys. So have I lost my touch? Am I still not cheap? I think I'm pretty darn cheap still. I really do. And that's why I don't mind sharing it, because I think when it comes down to it, I'm still cooking as often as I possibly can. I still have a menu, and this was actually a great practice to get back into, because I have been so busy, I've kind of been neglecting making meal plans. But I've actually, I don't know if you can see on here, but I have a couple different meal plans that I've been working through, and you know, just keep doing different meal plans every week. So that's started a good practice, and I'm back on my game. I'm back on my game. And that's just because I want to make sure that all of the numbers, you know, they don't have to be as to the level that they were as far as I'm concerned. I just want to know where my money is going. And I think that's the difference. You know, there's a difference when I was just kind of like trying to be cheap and not really keeping track. But now I'm like, you know what? Even if I am busy, I can at least keep track and try to get some parameters in there to make sure that I'm not really going crazy. Because it was a good practice for us during the month to try to, you know, just be reminded, hey, we're going to be recording this and we want to make sure that we're being faithful and people know that, you know, this is what we're spending and this is what we're doing. It was helpful to be accountable. So you guys are really a blessing to us in that way. And we hope that it was a blessing to you. We hope that you could see, you know, what prices are really like, what people are doing with their money right now, what they're doing with their time. And I hope that it kind of encouraged you, because there are things that I was doing in terms of meal prepping, trying to make things ahead of time. Our lunch situation that we were dealing with, that's such a challenge. That's definitely a big drain on our budget and our time and our energy. But we're hoping that come fall, Rick will be maybe working a little bit closer and I will be working a little bit closer. So that'll be nice. Maybe I'll be teaching in a school down here. You guys pray about that. I'm very excited about all the potential. So it's gonna be really, really fun. But at the moment, we have a new budget. And it's $100 per person per week, including personal items and entertainment, which is eating out. But if you're talking about groceries, our grocery budget at this moment, because people ask me that right now, I've said it going forward, you've seen it here, $105 a week, and that's for the 2 of us. So what's that, $52.50 each? That's what I think is reasonable in our situation with our dietary preferences and where we live. So where you are, if you want to set a grocery budget for yourself, I hope that you'll kind of go through the same practice. Because not only have I told you how to do it, but I've tried to demonstrate to you how to do it, how I came up with the numbers and what they're based on. And there it is. So that is what we spent in the 4 weeks with the food diaries. If you haven't seen them, I'm going to be linking them at the top, and you can go check out all those food diaries and see what we ate and what we didn't eat and how we worked all that stuff out. And it was kind of a whirlwind, but it was very helpful to us. And I'm still going to be showing you my grocery hauls, and you can see what we didn't spend. I'm still behind on a few of them because I've been in my finals week, y'all, trying to get everything from my student teacher. Like, I had to do a whole project and a presentation. It was amazing, and I just turned it in yesterday. And I have like one more smaller assignment, and that's it for the bachelor's degree, you guys. Your girl's doing it. Okay. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us and for continuing to be a part of our family and encouraging us. And let me know what you think. I mean, in the end, it's what we're gonna do. but you know, if you got something to say, you can say it. I might say something back, but that's where we are. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye.